Hi everyone, welcome back to Dimitra's Dishes. So today I'm going to teach you a really basic go-to recipe that you should know how to make because it's so simple and it enhances any meal, makes it really elegant. Poached eggs, it's my favorite way to eat eggs, and it's actually much simpler than you think. What you need are just 2 eggs, and make sure they're really fresh eggs so that way they poach really nicely and the white doesn't sort of spread out all over the place. The fresher they are, the more the white stays together. But just to help that come along properly, all you're going to need is some boiling water, of course, and a little bit of white vinegar that I have in here. You're going to need 2 little ramekins or 2 little bowls like this. You're going to need a slotted spoon with some holes in it, a towel, and some paper towels. That's pretty much all you're going to need. You want to make sure you crack your egg into these bowls because it'll be much easier to put into your steaming water. Now what I'm doing here is I'm going to bring my water to a boil first, and then I'm going to set it to simmer because you don't want to throw these in the boiling water, it'll ruin it. So once the water comes to a boil, then I'll show you what we're going to do next. But I'm going to show you 2 different ways to prepare these poached eggs. One, I'm going to show you in a piece of bread with my roasted red pepper and feta dip, topped with these with the poached egg, which is super delicious. And my second favorite way to eat this is over vegetables. So recently I made some potato and cauliflowers. It's on top of my stove. It was so delicious. It's called aloo gobi. It's a Pakistani dish. It's really yummy, and with a poached egg on top, takes it to the next level. But you can poach it. You put a poached egg on top of roasted asparagus. It's really nice. You can make any kind of vegetables really and put it on top of you. Put it over pasta. The sky's the limit. It's really nice. It takes your meal from like simple and boring to really nice and elegant. Just waiting for my water to boil. Once it boils, we'll move on to the next step. Come close and then I'll show you how we do this. Alright, so once the water comes to a boil, you want to make sure you reduce the heat to just a simmer. Okay, and that's important because that'll make your eggs nice and tender instead of really tough. We're going to put a little bit of vinegar in there, and I've made this with vinegar and without vinegar. The vinegar just really assures that your egg whites will stick, kind of stay together. You can leave it out if you really don't like the taste, but it doesn't really leave a really strong taste. It's fine. And then you want to make like a little whirlpool in the water and put your egg in one by one. And then just let it cook to your liking. So I generally cook my eggs in here, and I poach them in the water for about 3 minutes. 3 minutes, make sure that the egg white is completely cooked, and then the yolk is runny, and that's how I like it. If you like it cooked more than that, just keep checking it, and we'll check it after 3 minutes, but don't keep touching it because you might risk breaking it. Let it cook, let it do its thing in the water, and I'm going to check mine after 3 minutes. Go. So we're almost at the 3-minute mark. I'm going to take it out and show you. You see it still needs to cook a little bit more. I feel like the white is not completely set, so 1 more minute and it'll be exactly where I want it to be. Now if the white starts spreading out, like if you get an old egg, that's fine. This was a pretty fresh egg. Just kind of move the water around and then it'll have everything come closer together. That's perfect. That's exactly how I want it. Now you want to make sure you have a kitchen towel, a clean one, handy, so that way you can strain out all the excess water. Just like that. And I'm going to set it aside, and then we'll get going with how we're going to serve this. So one way, like I said, one way I like to serve this is over vegetables, and my favorite vegetables that I make are these cauliflower and potato casserole, I'd like to call it. It's cooked over the stovetop. It's so yummy. Make sure you get this recipe. I'll put a link down below. Now you want to take one of the eggs, take this one, and put it on top. I need some salt and pepper. Let me go grab that. Alright, so I'm just going to sprinkle some salt. I like pink. I love this pink Himalayan salt. I could find it really everywhere these days around me. You can use any salt. A little bit of black pepper. And a little bit is all I'm going to get because this just stopped working. That's fine because there's enough spice in this. And look at this. Come close. Let me show you what it's going to look like once we cut into this. Okay, so I'm going to cut into this and show you how beautiful that is. Look at that. That makes a nice sauce. So delicious, you guys. I'm going to put this recipe on the website, www.dimitrasdishes.com. Here's one way to do it, and then we'll move on to the next recipe. So another way I like to eat my poached egg is with some arugula and some roasted red pepper and feta dip. This dip you guys have got to try. It's on my website. It's also on my YouTube page. I have a show on exactly how to make it, and it comes together in 10 minutes. So it's a must-have. It's super, super flavorful, and you just have to try it. Okay, so I have my pita bread that's also on this page. Let me get a knife so I can cut it. So I'm using homemade pita bread. It's whole wheat. You can use any kind of bread. You can use a sourdough bread, which is really nice with this. Whole wheat bread, whatever bread you have, ciabatta bread. I don't care what bread you have. Just put this combination together and it's gonna be super delicious. You wanna take your feta cheese spread, dip, and just spread it out on here. Just like that. You want to take some of your baby arugula, and you can use spinach if you prefer spinach, that's fine. And then take your poached egg and put it on top. Just lightly sprinkle it with just a tiny bit of salt, because the feta cheese spread is really spicy. Let me get a pepper shaker that actually works. So I don't have a pepper shaker that works. I have some ground pepper. I'll sprinkle some ground pepper on that. And then just a tiny bit of extra virgin cold pressed Greek olive oil. I'm biased, guys. My favorite olive oil comes from Kriti. That's where my family comes from, and that is the best olive oil I've ever tasted. I'm not just saying that. It's just the truth. This is how it looks. I'm going to cut into it in just a second. Okay, so I have my fork ready. I took it from my other poached egg dip. I'm going to cut a little bit of my pita bread so I can have the perfect bite. And then let me show you how perfect. This is exactly how I like my poached egg to look. I like it to be runny because I love this yolk. It's perfectly cooked. And then you want a piece. You want to dip it in there. And that right there, guys, is one of the most perfect ways to eat a poached egg. It's a simple recipe and it's really easy. It's great to have because it's a good way to serve poached eggs and just a simple dip and bread. But yet it's so impressive and it's so elegant. So serve it at a baby shower, a brunch, wherever you want to serve it. Have it for lunch or for breakfast. Just make sure you try this. The combination is to die for. Go on my website. I have step-by-step instructions on how to make all of these dishes with the exact measurements. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.